Hi, I'm Andy Martin. I am the Senior Partner of Stratton Parker, and I'm very sorry I couldn't be there with you today to present this myself. I know that my colleague Marty Kay will be with you, and I'm sure that if you have questions he'll be only too happy to help. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more about Stratton Parker. We're a private business. We have 51 offices and over 1,000 people serving the real estate community in the United Kingdom. We operate in areas of commercial as well as residential and also agricultural property, and we do this all over the country, and we also have partners on the commercial side with Catella, and I'm very, very proud to be the exclusive UK affiliate of Christie's International Real Estate. In my view, it is the best network of luxury high-end property brokers in the world. And we have been working with them for several years now, showcasing property in your market in Hong Kong, but also in Shanghai and Beijing as well. So we will today tell you a little bit more about the London market. To my mind, I might be biased, but the best city in the world, and one which has got a lot of new opportunities available in it for you to look at. One of the things that I know that we wanted to do is to invite you over, and I would love to see you in London if you happen to come over. We will be talking to you about the London market and where we think things are going at the moment. I will introduce to you Stephanie McMahon, my research director, who will tell you about trends in London, and Mark Dorman, my partner in charge of our London residential development practice, who will tell you about some of the opportunities he has immediately available for you. London, to my mind, is an important market. It's one of the best known international business cities in the world, a wonderful residential city with lots of opportunities, great education, great culture, and a great place to live. I hope you enjoy the presentation. I hope to see you in London, and thank you.
The main characteristics of the property market in London at the moment are that it's very, very active. If we look last year, we had the highest levels of capital markets volume since 2006, and so far this year it looks like we're due to repeat that again. So there is an awful lot of capital moving around the world. So we had about 63 billion transacted last year. In quarter one, about 18 billion transacted already. So lots of capital inflows, lots of activity, lots of buildings transacting.
The biggest change in the London new build residential market in the last 12 months, which has really crystallised in the last 12 months, is the new breed of developer in central London. And typically those people are coming from Asia. We're seeing a lot of developers now in London from mainland China, and a lot more developers from Malaysia. Examples of that might be Dalian Wonder from mainland China, and also Rainwood from mainland China, Oxley from Malaysia, who are doing big groundbreaking developments in central London. The biggest changes that are now occurring in the London high-end market because of these new developers coming into central London is that they are typically building communities. So rather than building just blocks of apartments, they will include hotels, they will include retail, and they're a lot more focused on creating a community rather than just a very exclusive block of apartments, which tend to be quite exclusive to the community rather than inclusive.
It's really important at the moment to look at how companies are behaving across London. London's changed in the last 5 years or so, whereas in the past we had the main commercial property markets of the city and the West End. We now see companies moving into very different areas. They're going up to King's Cross, they're going down to London Bridge, they're going out to Paddington, Stratford and other markets across London. 5 years ago or so, big tech companies would have looked out to the west of London. They would have liked to have been closer to Heathrow or in the West End. Now they're looking at the new and emerging markets. So Google have taken 1 million square feet up at King's Cross, for example.
The biggest changes that we've seen recently in other parts of the world coming into London to buy apartments in central London, and central London has been an attractive location to buy residential property for decades, is that typically buyers are attracted, particularly to new build developments, from the locations where the developer is based. So if a developer is from mainland China, we tend to see quite a lot of interest from mainland China coming in and buying the apartments. Another big difference that we've seen recently is the reduction of interest from the Russian market because of international sanctions, etc. And they have been replaced by buyers from other parts of the world, typically where there's some political turmoil and they're trying to bring their money and put it into a safe location like London.
Looking at long-term drivers for London, one of the most exciting things is the talents and skills that are attracted to London all the time. So like the other major cities around the world, we have people coming in and staying here for 4-5 years. And that skill base also attracts major companies who wish to set up in London. So it's very important that London continues to be able to attract that talent and be able to grow that talent through its universities and education as well.
I think the biggest opportunity for the London residential market moving forward is the huge amount of money that is going into new infrastructure in central London. So a project like Crossrail, which is the biggest bit of infrastructure going into central London for 30 years, is going to completely change the dynamics of where people choose to live and why they choose to live there. So a place like Acton in West London, which typically has not been associated with luxury, is now only going to be 9 minutes from Bond Street and 11 minutes from Heathrow Airport. That will change its location in relation to its perception of being a luxurious place to live. So infrastructure is going to be a key opportunity in the market. There are two key risks that I see for the high-end London residential market. The first risk is the amount of volume that is planned to be delivered in the £1,000 to £2,000 a foot bracket of value. That means that for a 2-bedroom flat, you're typically paying between £1 million and £1.5 million. And there are many thousands of units being planned in that price bracket in areas like Nine Elms, King's Cross, etc. That could pose a risk. The second risk is really around politics, and it is the temptation for politicians to look at residential investment as an opportunity for taxation. And if the politicians can resist that temptation, then the next 5 years seems like it should be a strong cycle in the market.
If we're looking at the risks for London's property markets, I would say there are probably 3 things we need to consider. One is affordability. It's about people being able to live and work in the city, and I think the same as every other major city around the world, London needs to have housing that can accommodate a wide range of people. Secondly, it's really important that we continue to invest in infrastructure and transport. This is one of the main reasons why companies come and operate here, is that A, they can get the skills they want, and B, they can get in and out of the city easily and get people in and out of the city easily. And thirdly, it's important that we keep on retaining those skills, that we keep on educating people, and that London's education remains first class and competitive across the world.
There are a number of opportunities for the London high-end residential market, particularly over the next 5 years. The first is that the general election is now over. The Conservative Party have won the election, and they have less onerous policies towards taxation when it comes to residential investment than the Labour Party did have. So in many ways, that risk has been minimised. The other opportunities are the timeless draw of the London education system, the fantastic universities that we have here, which attract people from all over the world, the very transparent legal system that we have here, and the relatively benign and stable political system. Your assets are safe in London, and for the next 5 years, there should be no change to that.
London has some fantastic opportunities in its property markets at the moment. The new and emerging locations that have appeared across central London provide opportunities not just for commercial investment and development, so around offices and residential and leisure, but also around other asset types, whether that be student accommodation or healthcare or education. It really is a city that is growing very rapidly in terms of its property markets, and therefore makes it one of the most dynamic and exciting places to live and invest in the world at the moment.